Or
Yeah, and people, welcome back. Another episode here again, episode 8, the Prem Podcast, I'm here again with DFC. I don't know who in the building, don't know man, I'm called Daniel Football Show. Yeah, people, United, man, United, Premier League, everything happened over the weekend, my stress. As you can see the thumbnail, men versus boys, that was one of the easiest Manchester derbies I've watched in a long time, from the noisy neighbors. they no longer need the noisy neighbors. But bro, I don't know, man. But people just speak up on themselves, hope everyone, smash that like button when you come on the live. Really appreciate everyone, bless up to everyone that's supporting the show from day one until now. Big up to everyone that's who new, checking in. Hope you leave without a subscription. Hope you don't leave without a subscription and like the video at the end. But Jaja, here, Prem Podcast again. A couple things happened, over the weekend. From Friday, the first game until now. Bournemouth final one-day game. Coach, the Spanish coach here, Rolly, won his game. Manchester derby. Tottenham is still unbeaten. You surprised, who? Tottenham is still unbeaten in what 9 games now?
I think a lot of luck going their way. I think they're playing good football, but I feel like there's a lot of things going their way as well. But they're let's see. They're holding their own. The next game against Chelsea, I think that's going to be a very good game as well.
Yeah. But we're going to jump to the Manchester derby. And that's a big one of the weekend. Everyone who didn't know the score. The score. Man United lost 3-1 at Old Trafford. As I said, it was one of the easiest win I ever seen for a Manchester City team. Even when we got, I think, 5, even that 6, what we got at Etihad. This game was so easy. It was just walk in the park. Straight up walk in the park. And I don't know, man, where the board, the manager, the players, the staff, where everyone stand from here. But, we have a game midweek. We have to wrap up things and, go out and go in that game with some positive notes. And, tomorrow training session, if I was a coach, I wouldn't give anyone any day off. I don't think they deserve that. I would never give anyone any day off. But, this is Manchester United worst, start of a Premier League season, 37 years now. So last time we had a post that was 87. When we played our first 10 games and we lost 5. The games that we won, arguably we shouldn't won those games, but we barely crawl over the line and won those games. But the game though, I would say the first 20 minutes, United have United have gotten like 3-4 chances that missed turnovers from Manchester City. I don't think we created that one real opportunity. I think in the game, Christian Eriksen created a cross, and we got a chance from that. But every other chance that came by for United, it was just a turnover from Manchester City, or it was just some misplaced pass, something like that. We didn't took our opportunities, to be honest. A lot of times the players in that first 20 minutes, overrun the ball, and it was just chaos. You could believe that, a team like United that always have a real proper number 9. Our strikers haven't scored a goal as yet for the season start. Everything is just poor. Everything is just a chaos right now in the red side of Manchester. But you can jump in and tell me what you think about the game.
I mean, as going in the game as a neutral, I think I was like, Old Trafford, Man U have a very good fan base. It's a Manchester derby. See, as as a neutral and as a United fan, you're gonna have to go in. You should go in the game have hope, a little bit of hope. You know, you have home. It's a derby. You know, even when you're not playing good football, you still can be very. You can still able to get a win out of these games because they're derby, and sometimes it be like that. And United does never look going. They as you said, every time City turn over the ball. They either overpass the ball, somebody take a long time on the ball, make the wrong decision. You just every time when I see United on the counter attack towards Man City goal, they just make a bad decision. Then from the penalty, United it was just drop and City just control the game. They're able to play the game on their pace. I think City could have went up at least 3-0 if it wasn't for Onana.
Yeah.
In
that stopped just before the first half, and
that header, right? That brilliant save. The one with Maguire, he was trying to edit out, and he
what
like I don't know what were he trying to do. Like before he hit the ball back that way, he was trying to hit the ball back post, which I did not know what was he thinking, and then
I don't know what
it was a training ground.
I don't know. Trust me, I really don't know, bro.
It was a training ground for City, and the substitute that he was doing. I don't know what were he trying to do.
Yeah.
Bring out Mason Mount. Never really get into the game. He take off Amrabat. I don't know why did he take off Amrabat. That was like the only stable mid players that gonna be, even though he got a yellow card, but it's still, you know. But City just too good. They never really get out of third gear. To me,
I would say they never went out of first gear. To be honest,
they never
not even the first gear.
I feel like if it was at the Etihad, they would have put more pressure on you guys goal, like because their fans would have want them to, you know, go on, you know. But I feel like at Old Trafford, they want to be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work to be done.
A whole lot of work, bro. A whole lot of work, you know.
Let's be honest. Are we surprised that United got beat today?
No. I'm not even upset because
that's why I'm like, there's nothing real to say than just like we know said this was probably gonna be the final result, but damn, this is a derby. At least show some passion. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing, no fight, nothing.
Daniel, stay in the room. Close the door. Yeah.
Nothing, no fight, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, but as you said, you know, earlier, and you touched on a really good point. What was the purpose of subbing Amrabat? You know, I wouldn't say because I don't know if really because it was that yellow card, you know, but this is the first time I've seen United midfield three kind of a little bit stable, you know, with McTominay, Amrabat, and Eriksen. You know, Eriksen played a one. To me, Eriksen played the best today for United as he's shown his class on the ball. You know, especially, you know, when Amrabat came off the pitch, Eriksen kind of dropped a little bit deeper than usual. And, you know, he found himself on the ball a lot of times and, you know, he's trying to create. But every time when Eriksen get the ball, there's no movements. Everyone is stagnant on the pitch. There were no movements on the pitch. You understand? So everyone was ball watching, waiting for the ball. And that Rasmus Hojlund substitute, you know, even though he made a mistake, you know, sometimes when your striker made mistakes in game, just leave him. He more likely will be more hungrier, you know, to prove himself wrong, you know, to make up for his mistake, be a man, you know, for his mistake. But time and time again, you know, the coach keep making these silly tactics, you know. I don't even know why. Probably Johnny Evans played in the game, to be honest, you know. Johnny Evans been playing, you know, I would say above par, really and truly, but I wouldn't even play Johnny Evans because when you look on City top three, you know, Erling Haaland, you know, he easily can bully these players. And You know, I mean, I could understand that, playing Johnny Evans, alongside Maguire, it complement him and complement. It's vice versa. They both players, feed off of each other energy as they were at Leicester City. But he took too long to make changes to the game. And I feel like, the first couple of changes should have been made was Bruno and Marcus. As they were below par, Bruno started the game on the right side, and he ended the game in the middle, but he wasn't even tracking. But I think at one point, him and Diego Dalot, he was, they were arguing, because Dalot was telling him that, yo, you need to do more.
Yeah.
And he's telling that he cannot do no more, but he's not doing anything. You understand? And I feel like, it's far too long now. The coach have Bruno Fernandes. I mean, he's a captain, yes, but guess what? He's not leading by example. And you have to change it. You have to change it. I don't know if Rashford and Bruno have something over the coach where he just can't take them off, or where he just can't bench them. And I feel like, at Derby, you remember when I don't remember, I think it was the Derby that we lost at Anfield, and Hannibal came on, and I think he got that quick red card. You remember that? I don't know if you remember that Derby at Anfield, but this player is a player, grew up in the academy. He understands what it is to play Manchester Derby. He has that fight, he has that passion about him, and he have a lot of quality. And yet again, Hannibal sit on the touchline watching the game from the bench, and Bruno Fernandes raised his hands more than how he kicked the ball today, to be honest.
He get rattled very easily.
Yeah, he get. I don't know, man. For a leader, you can't show any weakness. You have to be that spine. You have to be that backbone, for that team, and you have to stand up strong. And he's argued too many times, with officials.
Yeah.
So but I saw the post game, show with the City players as they were talking. They know when to press, they know when to shoot, they know when to run. They would kill Man United on the overlaps. It's been a while since I've seen City, played both fullbacks, really high. I mean, they started to do that.
They was almost playing with one centre back.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, with one centre back.
Because,
and they were just doubling up.
Walker and Gado Lowe was playing more like a left wing backs, and then they have Rodri and Johnstone in the middle to cover Johnson, to cover the wing back. So it was a very Pep like tactical, and then I don't know. Where you guys going from here? Because I don't think sacking the manager is the problem. It's gonna be
sacking the manager is not the issue.
You're gonna have to rebuild. Get rid of these players.
It's we have to rebuild from scratch. I have to shout out to Onan, a really good game today. But I feel like next game versus Newcastle in the EFL Cup, coming, I think it's Wednesday. Players need to be dropped. You have to do something. You have to change it up. You have to change it up.
Can I afford to do that though?
I mean,
that's probably gonna be the only trophy that you guys can try to win this season. Plus the FA Cup. I don't see you guys winning the Champions League. You don't see you winning the Premier League. So can you take that risk?
We will play a weaker Newcastle team. Newcastle have like 6 first team player injured. So Newcastle haven't been made a whole lot of changes. The last game I think they made 1 changes. So they and the Champions League they were tired. The game they played over the weekend, they were tired. So I think we have that luxury, can make a few changes, to be honest. Probably can give Johnny Evans a rest, move back Lindelof in the defense, push back regular. get back Regulan off the bench. I could understand why Regulan didn't play, to be honest, because Regulan, he's kind of injury prone from his days at Tottenham, man. You know what I say? So, we're very light at the back, to be honest. We're very light at the back. Rafael Varane is not fully fit. I'm expecting Rafael Varane to play sometimes, even start the game against Newcastle. But the coach, he has to take responsibility for his tactics. To be honest, his decision making has to be more spot on. I don't know. Zlatan made a quote that coaching at Ajax, coaching at United is a different level. We saw what happened over there right now in Amsterdam. Ajax is in last position in Eredivisie, and coaching kids is different. But coming at United in a dressing room where you have a whole lot of egos, you have players from different nationalities, players that speak different languages. You have to cope with that, and I just feel like you don't have a system. United don't have identity.
Yeah.
Sitting at the helm at Old Trafford for what, 18 months now? I can't even tell you what is the system for United.
Is it
Big Ange just came in.
The players or the manager?
The manager.
I think some of these players just can't be coached. Rashford doesn't seem like he have any intelligence. Bruno always want to make a final pass. McTominay is not good enough for the level that Man U want to be. Maguire is not good enough for the level Man U want to be. Johnny Evans should not be playing for Manchester United. Who else? Lindelof is a decent enough bench backup defender. Who else? Dilat is not. Would he get into any of the top team in the Premier League? I don't think so. I don't think he's that good of a right back. So you have to look at the team. I think the only good player you could say is Martinez, Luke Shaw on his day, Amrabat. I'm not so sure. Onana, good keeper. Varane, maybe passing it. So you have to look at the team.
All right. So,
on the bench, Garnacho, good, potentially come. Martial, not good enough. You see that over the years, injury-prone. Anthony, hit and miss. So you have to really look through your squad and be realistic.
All right. I think I think I have a loophole probably into that. We can use either Roberto De Zerbi team, or we can use a Big Ange team. Who's another new coach in the Tottenham. You could look 18 months ago when Eddie Howe took over from Newcastle.
So not Emery.
Dubravka was that goalkeeper for Newcastle. Lloris was that goalkeeper after when appointed, but he left the summer when Big Ange came in. I don't remember who was Brighton goalkeeper. How many of those goalkeepers better than Onana?
No.
Martinez, Lindelof, Rafael Varane, Maguire, arguably one of the best centre-half in the 2018 World Cup for England. Arguably now he's one of that go-to guy for England, at the centre-half position. You have man like Veltman, you have players like Shearer, you have players like Boatman, Dan Burn. Most of them, they are not better than United defenders. It's same thing for Tottenham. Sanchez, Romero is probably, he's that elite over probably all of United defenders that we have. And what's his name? Eric Dyer. Most of those players are not better.
But the
midfield, Casemiro just he's coming from Real Madrid. Eriksen, you have Amrabat, what he does in 2022 World Cup, last winter. Most of these players are really better, but the thing that you pointed out, probably those players can be coached. Meanwhile, the other players, they're just broken. It's like a bird when you clip their wings, they can't fly.
So by that, you're saying that it's the manager. He's just not. Is either the player's not taking his instruction?
Yeah, it's one of it. It's either one. It's either one. It's either.
And I feel like, how many times you guys gonna go on the one road? Get rid of the manager. So how about get rid of some of these players? Yeah, get rid of some of these players. Start over. Yeah. Do a rebuild.
So you saw in the summer we trying to get rid of Aaron Maguire, and he said he's not leaving. it's crazy. He said he's not leaving because if he's going to leave, he's going to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
So I really don't know, but we're going to move on as City. I think City is in second position on goal difference over Arsenal.
I think they're third.
They're third.
Yeah.
They third. Arsenal have that 1+ goal extra over them, but they're tied on points. But we're going to move on. From that Manchester derby. We spent like 20 minutes talking about that Manchester derby. I mean, it was a big one. But we're going to go a little bit south. London. Chelsea versus Brentford. 2-0 victory. For Brentford. They call them the Eagles. The Bees. They call them the Bees, but 2-0. Reggae Boy International, Ethan Pinnock. A wonderful header from the back post. I think that who was that? Who was that right back for Chelsea? Because I think Thiago Silva was. You saw what Thiago Silva was trying to point it out.
Yes, I see. He was playing right back.
Thiago, before that ball came, before the player even crossed that ball, Thiago Silva was pointed out. Man is at the back post.
Yeah.
You could actually. Man is at the back post, and they still, allowed him to jump on. But 2-0, is that your 4th defeat in the Premier League this season?
I think so.
But you just won 3 games on the bounce, and then you took 4 steps side, and you go back 5 steps behind.
I think that's where we're at right now. I think that's the level you're gonna. I think we're gonna play good. We'll come up against better team. We're gonna look good. But I think when we come against teams that play low block, I think we're gonna struggle. And I going into the big games, I'm very confident because I feel like we have the players to express themselves a little bit. But when we're playing against team where we have to break down, I think you're gonna see a lot of result like this. I think until we buy a striker, I don't think Jax is good enough for right now. We need a striker. Yeah.
That penalty call for Chelsea.
Which one? Sterling.
I think it was that one.
That's a penalty. If you look at the penalty of Manu go against Manu today, that's a penalty. The guy didn't even was going nowhere near the ball. You get me? So if you're gonna say that Sterling wasn't gonna get the ball, Roger wasn't gonna get the ball, right? It's just the inconsistency with these referees and these issues. That's a penalty.
So you just said, Jackson is not quite ready as yet for the Premier League to lead Chelsea, to back another top 4. But you think Tabole will spend some money in that number 9 position coming January?
He ain't got no choice. Because we can't really put too many pressure on Nkunku to come back and so. And I still don't think Nkunku is a number 9, but he's a goal scorer, but he's not a number 9. But if we want anywhere near getting Europe next season, he have to go and get a striker because I feel like we're good defensively and we're good in the midfield. But the thing is that when you play teams like Bournemouth, Brentford, and those teams, they're gonna be a time in the game they're gonna get the opportunity as far as corners. They have this thing where they throw in. Remember those Dilap throws? They're gonna be a point in the game. They're gonna get that opportunity, and they're gonna take it, and then it's gonna be very hard to break them down because now they're gonna be deep. They're good on defensive. They're good on corners as well in their own box. So
yeah,
I feel like if we don't score in the 25th minutes, it's gonna be a struggle throughout the game. I think people say, yo, is getting a striker, is it that simple? I really think it's that simple. I just really think we need a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Every time I see Reece James, Sterling, so many players put the ball in the box, Jackson on the edge of the box. He's supposed to, remember them days when Jagba, a slide in, slide. Jackson is always on his feet. He's like, I remember watching Jagba. Me know when we know Jagba. We know either Jackson is not. We need to go for Ozyman or go for Ivan Toney. I don't care who we get. We just need a box at number 9. You look on Ireland, back post, either.
Yeah, that's a striker instinct because the near post was crowded and he just peeled off right the shoulder off Lindelof and then Phil Foden again. Team playing again. He just pushed in to the near post and brought Lindelof with him, and that's how Alan scored that second goal on the back post. But Chelsea, since my time, watching Premier League, Chelsea has been always good at home. I think before what's his name? Jose Mourinho came, Liverpool had that best home record in the Premier League. And Jose came in 2004 and he took 4 seasons. I think he haven't lost a game in 86 games. That's still the record right now. The longest winning streak at home, unbeaten run at home.
Yeah.
And Chelsea always have this number 9 that can give them at least 10, 15 goals a season. And I don't see that right now with Jackson missing too many easy chances. And it's off the ball running is poor. I don't think he have this thinking, up there as yet as a striker. Most people think that, just put the ball in the back of the net, that's it for a striker. You have to be thinking, what next? You have to just always thinking 3 steps ahead of the defenders at all time. But, my last thing on Chelsea is the ownership, creating a toxic environment around the club.
No, I think I think some fans understand the situation, but it's me. I understand. So, this team is not ready yet to compete for top 4. I get that, but fans, I like to see in progress. Like, I don't like to see. I see. It's like how I'm a new fan. You're saying a pattern. You're saying nothing.
Yeah.
I see that. Like, I see that. So that's why I feel like we're spending all this money. Let's go get a striker. Let's get the striker. You get me? That's the only problem we have with the owners. Get the striker. Go get the striker because I can see if we get a striker, it will improve it a lot. I'm telling you. People might say, is that simple? Yes, we do need a striker because I see Palmer do the same thing with Odegaard, Kevin De Bruyne though. If you watch him play, he's really brilliant as a number 10. He can create opportunity. You get me?
I think he just need game time.
No, he's starting.
I think he just need game time.
He's starting.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I think he just need that run of games, coming game after week, game after week, game after week. And I think this season will be a learning curve for him at Chelsea because, especially not in Europe, he's just going to be playing. So this is a learning curve for him, and he will learn from this. I think he will get better next season. To be honest, most of the Chelsea players will get better next season.
I think right now I would take finishing 8th and a good cup run. Now the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Right now, I would take the 8th position and a good cup run. Yeah, because we're nowhere near the top 4 right now. That's my expectation for this.
Probably nowhere near the top 6. United is like probably 9 or 10 points from top 4 right now. You realize the top four is making gaps between 9 to 6 position, our fifth position. They're making gaps. Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and Tottenham. They are going.
Aston Villa there too.
And Aston Villa is right there too. West Ham missed the opportunity to keep pace with the top four.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chelsea have a game. I think you guys play Tuesday. Wednesday. Blackburn at home in the EFL Cup.
Yeah.
From there, your fixtures, your next set of fixtures is really sticky.
I'm confident in those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like when it's a big match and the team have more space to do things,
yeah,
they play better. I feel like when we were playing as a team that sit back, that's when we struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chelsea next couple of games, away to Spurs, home to City, away at St. James Park to Newcastle, then home to Brighton, and from there, I think that's run from next week until December the 6th, those set of games. But you're going to move on, from the Blues, Chelsea going to the North London, the red side of North London, Arsenal as they whip up Sheffield United 5th. Am I going to say it again 3 weeks in a row? Paul Ekinbottom, still have his job at Sheffield United. It's ridiculous. This guy probably conceded over 20 goals in the last 4 games and probably score around 2 goals. But wonderful performance, from Eddie Nketiah. I remember. You remember when I think it was last season, when he got those games just before he started scoring. Remember when he got that run of games when Jesus got that knee injury right after the World Cup, and Arsenal fans they battered him in the media about he's not ready. It's too fast for him to graduate into the first team. It's because of Eddie, because why Balogun didn't offer any contract and all of that. But now they praising him. It's like every time when an Arsenal striker got injured, he stepped up.
Yeah, that's just Arsenal fans. They're very reckoning.
Yeah, they're very rational. Yeah. But Arsenal, that was so easy for them. But that third goal, you saw that third goal.
I honestly didn't watch the game because I was like, what's the point? Arsenal gonna win.
That third goal though by Eddie Nketiah, man. That's 25 yards out. Really, really good. But I think Saka had this record in the last 6 games. By assisting and scoring goals. I think the last play I've done is in the last 6 games involving 6 goal involvements. I think Ian Wright, last Englishman to done it. Alexis Sanchez done it in the past, and Ian Wright is the last English player to done it. But once anything comes up with Bukayo Saka, they're going to highlight it as he's that marquee player for them. But Arsenal had a couple good games, since that game at Sheffield. They kind of stumbled over the line, but they kind of redeemed themselves. I think there is a couple of players too. I think there is Odegaard. There is Odegaard in that game, and they're quick to take off. Their key players, don't want any more injuries. I think they took Rice off too. I think Eddie was that only player up front in that front three. He played 90 minutes. Kai Havertz really played good in that game. And I think Kai Havertz is coming into his own, but he's going to gradually take his time though. Trust me. Yeah, Liverpool at Anfield, 3-0 victory over Nottingham Forest. Nunes, Jota, Salah just can't stop scoring. His goal boot, he find back his golden boot again. After probably the start of the season, he was just trying to assist. That's the thing with elite players that you out of farm, you cannot score, right?
Yeah.
You just try to get your players in, and then the goals will come. And that's what happened with Mo Salah. I think he scored a brace last week. He scored a brace last week, and now he scored again. But Nottingham Forest is in trouble. They are in big trouble. The game that played on Friday, the London derby, Crystal Palace versus Spurs. Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I watched that game.
You know, that's the poorest game I've seen Spurs play this season. But one shot on target, 2 goals in the back after that, one goal. I think Ward scored that one goal. You know, Son again, Young-min Son is on the score sheet again. You know, he's fine back his mojo.
Yeah.
You know, Madison, this player just looked like he just looked like that all-time Ozil. You know, he used to play in the Bundesliga that get transferred to Real Madrid. You know, he's looking like that player can control the game. You know, Bissouma, this player, Bissouma he's so excellent. I feel like Bissouma, because, you know, of his nationality, and Declan Rice is an English player, he's not. But Bissouma is right up there.
Yeah.
Bissouma is right up there. You know, he's really good.
He was a good player at Brighton before they got Caicedo. So
yeah, he was that player.
Last season, I think Conte never really used him. He was coming on a lot. So
yeah. But again, he was struggling with injuries.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, again he was struggling with injuries, you know.
Yeah.
But I am this Spurs team, but does this Spurs team have the depth to play in a European football next season? Because they look like they're going to play European football next season.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to. That's the thing. Like, I feel like they have an advantage because they don't play no midweek games. They're out
of the EFL Cup.
Out of the EFL, so I feel like they're always gonna look fit and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if they're staying injury free, even though every team does have that time where they go through the season, have their little dip up form, you know. But I see them getting top 4. I
see them get top 4 too. I think Spurs have some games coming up, to be honest. Let me check. I think they have some. They have. We know that they have Chelsea next, but they will play away to Wolves, home to Villa, away to City, and home to West Ham, and then away at St James Park. You know, those games run from next week until December the 10th. So, you know, they have a couple of games that, you know, they can win, but except that City game, you know, and probably that Chelsea game, because that's always a good game whenever they come up against Chelsea. But Wolves away.
They play Newcastle away.
Huh?
Newcastle away?
Yeah, no, they have Newcastle at home.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I would say, you know, winnable game that their fans are looking to win away to Wolves, you know, but Gary O'Neill's team is playing really good.
Yeah, they're very good at home too, Wolves.
Yeah, you know, they're really playing good at the Molineux. They will be play home to Aston Villa. They play home to West Ham, you know, and they play home to Newcastle. So you're looking at those games expected to win. That's like 4 games, you know, 3, 4, 12. So, you know, that's 12 points already. But, you know, football is a very funny sport. You know, anything can happen. But last thing before I move on from that Spurs game, the last piece of action, Andre Ayew, that handball.
That's a goal.
That's a goal. Because I feel like you know, piece of the ball kind of above his elbow.
If it's not obvious, you could give it.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't that obvious, so yeah.
You know, so another game at the Molineux, you know, Wolves, you know, they came back to draw this game 2-2, you know, at home against a Newcastle team. Newcastle made 1 substitution in this game, Paul. 1 substitution. You know,
right.
And yeah, they only made 1 substitution in the game. I'm gonna tell you who was that. And that was, you know, Almiron came off and Joe Willock came on. That's the only substitution in the game. Newcastle team is stretching. They had so many players injured right now. They have Isak with a leg injury, you know, Anderson, that academy product, is out until January with a back injury. Harvey Barnes out late November, ankle injury. You know, Murphy mid-November with a shoulder injury. You know, Boatman will be. I hope he will be fit, you know, for that United game, but more likely he will be back for the weekend. And you know, Sandro Tonali is suspended. You know, he's facing a ban. You know, so
he can play in the Champions League, but he can't play in the Premier League. Like he did play in the Champions League midweek, Tonali.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So is it the Premier League or what?
It's probably, I don't know. I have to go check that out, but that game, that the Molyneux. Pedro, that's the only negative, I can take from that game for Wolves is Pedro Neto came off with an hamstring injury. 6 assists. He's the leading assist in the Premier League.
He's the best. Yeah. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, like everything for Wolves team go down that right side. And he looked really fit. I feel this for this player because last season he spent most of his time out, nursing.
I'm saying how long does hamstring normally take to heal?
It depends. Grade 1 probably could take a week or so. Strain. I look at muscle strain. Sometimes will take like a week. I see Lionel Messi recover from hamstring injury days.
Messi, I've never seen Messi injured. Messi ever injured?
You remember when Bayern Munich flagged them on 8-0 aggregate at Camp Nou?
Yeah.
No, when Bayern Munich flagged them, he played in that game with an hamstring injury.
Messi don't really run though. Most of that Messi is walking.
But big one, for the Toffees. Every time when Sean Dyche is under pressure, this man always find a game to win. And it's a big 3 points at London Stadium, against West Ham and the travel. This is a massive points of their number 9, Calvert-Lewin, got that lone goal. The Corey, you watch that game, the Corey got a chance to go 2-0 up, and he missed it. But we spoke about it on here already on this podcast about whenever Sean Dyche is behind the door, looking over his shoulder, is like the next game, it doesn't matter who he played, he will win. And that's how, many years back ago, he saved his job at Burnley, and he's doing the same thing at Everton. So, I think Everton, in their last 40 games in the Premier League, they have won only 4 games. They're really poor. I think this is their second game on the travel. They win now. I think they beat Brentford away 3-1, and this game they beat West Ham 1-0 away. But I have something to say too about West Ham United. They played 3 games. They played 3 games in Europe so far. They beat the first game. They beat Bacca Topola 3-1 away, and then they lost 3-0 right after that game to Liverpool. And they played Freiburg away in Germany, and they won that game 2-1. But they drew at home to, I think, Newcastle United 2-2.
Yeah.
And then they lost Thursday now against Olympiacos 2-1. They lost 1-0 against Everton. You think David Moyes have like the depth of squad, or he's not rotating his players properly?
Yeah, I think most of these West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle, traditionally they don't used to be in Europe, and it kind of caught up on them a little bit. We have the United, the Chelsea, the Arsenal. Those big teams normally have a big squad. Like they normally have big.
They always prepare for European tournaments.
Yeah, so you kind of see it's kind of caught up on these little teams. You get what I'm saying? And they can't afford to get a lot of players because they're thinking like, maybe we don't make it back next year. You get what I'm saying? So they
get caught up with this big budget.
Right. So it's like they just gonna have to play through it and hope for the best. That's all they can do.
West Ham have this player, he used to play for Leon, Maxwell Cornet. He left Burnley, only played 1 season at Burnley and they got relegated, and West Ham bought him. He's not really getting enough game time.
Was he injured one time?
He only played 1 game in the Premier League so far.
I think he was there last season and he was injured.
He was there for I think he was there.
Yeah. I don't know.
But he's not he's just not getting that game time, at
Did he start Kudus as yet?
Who?
Kudus. Mohamed Kudus.
Oh yeah, Mohamed Kudus play. He started behind behind Mikel Antonio, and they were poor today.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
Mikel Antonio, he was poor, really poor. He didn't get any service. Poor, poor, poor. You know, look, Mikel Antonio is a player that he likes to run in behind, you know, the center half when ball play over the top.
Yeah.
Coming up against a Shandai's team that play low block, you know, the teams who are going to drop really deep, there's no space for him. You know, there's no space for Bowen. You know, Bowen, they like to play on a counter, but, you know, Everton going to sit deep, deep behind the ball, and they're just going to defend with a back four and that midfield five and that lone striker up front. So there was enough space, you know, in around for Bowen, you know, Mikel Antonio, even Kudus. You know, Kudus can play, you know, come short, knock and move and run again, you know, but Paquetá was that player was trying to move off that left side, coming in, trying to create that space. You know, he's good close touch footballer, can move that one touch and move again. But, you know, players that like to dribble, it's hard to coming up against low blocks team. And I just feel like West Ham moving forward, they're going to need something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to need something different from Mikel Antonio. You know, I don't know, so many players, you know, Yarmolenko, you know, Scamacca, the Italian, you know, I don't know what's wrong, why these players just can't work out for David Moyes.
I think he's very stuck in his ways. He only want to play one way. And I feel like Antonio is the perfect striker for him. But you can't play him every game. Like, you gotta switch it up a little bit. And that's why I feel like David Moyes, he's this old school manager where they just play one way, and he doesn't want to switch it up. So, because they bring in Samaka, right, and they let him go, right? They let him go.
Yeah,
because I did see Antonia podcast. He was like, David Moyes just don't that's not his type of player. He's a good player, but
he's a good player.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, but West Ham lost today. You know, West Ham is in 9th position and 14 points. They could have easily won that game and probably jump ahead of United, who is in 8th position. But, you know, going to move on. You know, Aston Villa beat, you know, New Boys Luton Town 3-1. You know, Luton Town. I was watching. I look at bits of that game. You know, Luton Town, you could see gradually they coming into their own, to be honest. If they can get that midfielder and that winger that can give them that ball in the box, because their striker, you know, Carlton Morris, I think he scored 3 goals already, 4 goals in the Premier League, you know, but he needs service from the wing areas and, you know, playing three at the back with 2 wing backs, 3 in the midfield and one player behind the number 9. They're going to need that extra quality out there on the left and the right side. And I think, you know, that's where they're lacking a little bit quality, you know, but McGinn, I think Aston Villa is the set piece king in the Premier League. You know, so many times I watch Aston Villa and they always have these unique set pieces.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, Sawa,
John McGinn did. He could whip them towards the goal too.
Exactly. You know, they're really good on corner kicks.
Yeah.
You know, and Diaby scored, I think, Luton Town scored an own goal, and then, you know, Martinez, the goalkeeper for Aston Villa, scored an own goal. But others from that, it was just all Aston Villa today. You know, big up to Leon Bailey again. Man, get an assist, you know, on his name. You know, I don't know how he's going. I think, you know, Zaniola is about to probably get sanctioned. You know, he's on that little betting thing in Italy. If he don't get banned, it's going to be hard for Leon to even get a start in this team. Why? Many times, you know, Leon is playing good, but, you know, the coach is sticking to his 11. He has this starting 11 that he always played in the Premier League, and another starting 11 that he always played in the Conference League. So he only have like probably 3 or 4 players who come out of the Premier League starting level, bringing Leon Bailey, etc., and more players in. So, you know, he's sticking to his guns and just playing what he used to.
I think Bailey maybe Bailey just accept and say, hey, you know what? Let me just play this role. Because every time I watch Bailey start, he doesn't really do anything.
He doesn't really do anything.
He might as well just accept that role for now, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, Brighton, Fulham, you know, Brighton dropped the ball and conceded a goal. in the 65 minute, from the Portuguese Falfina, to level the game and draw 1-1. But Brighton won that kid, Ivan Ferguson, the Irishman, scored in the 26th minute. It was all Brighton in this game. It was all Brighton have almost 600 passes in the game. You just unfortunately they just that mistake and they just can't see that goal. But there's something with Brighton. You said it. Brighton, West Ham, these clubs, Aston Villa, they're not used to playing weekend, midweek, weekend, especially traveling away. When you play Europa League and Conference League, you go to some country like you never heard before.
Yeah.
So there's something though with this Brighton team. They I think they're winless. They drew 3 games out of 5 in our competition. They're winless in their last 4 Premier League games. That's not Brighton, but they're playing excellent. But it's just that they just can't get the 3 points on board.
Yeah. Same thing. They won in midweek. They beat Ajax. Comfortably.
Bro.
What?
Yeah, no, even call Ajax name of Ajax.
But they beat Ajax midweek, and then it's either they're gonna win in Europe, or it's like when they win in Europe and then come back Premier League, they either draw or lose. Or if they win Premier League, they go to Europe, they either draw or lose. So it's gonna be like that. I just don't know how they can change it because they don't have the depth. The players they're gonna be missing players because the more games you play, the more there's a chance for your players to get injured. You get what I'm saying? So they're just gonna have to just stick it out. Hopefully they can start winning back some game in the Premier League, but that's just pretty much until if they become the established club in Europe, they're just gonna have to start have a bigger squad. But otherwise, and then that's it. That is the way to become elite club. That's what they say, elite. If you want to just be a regular club, just be a regular club. But there's nothing else you can do about it. You have to play the games, figure it out. That's all it is.
Yeah. Cover 9 games already. The last one, I think we saved the best for last, and Don Iraola, the Spanish coach, won his first game of the season as they beat Burnley. They beat Burnley, at Vitality Stadium 2-1. I think this game will put Vincent Kompany under some pressure.
Yeah.
This is a game. I think they scored first in that game. I think Burnley scored first. Let's check. Let's check it out. So Burnley scored first in the game. Charlie Taylor, scored first in the game, and then it was all Bournemouth. Semenya scored in the 22 minute, and Belling, the Danish, scored in the 76 minute. But if Vincent Kompany isn't under pressure, now is the time that he's going to go under some pressure, because losing against a team that, probably struggling just like them, and it's the first time this season, Bournemouth is going to play, going to play their next game, and they're not inside of that relegation zone. They are 17th position and 6 points. So 3 draw and a win, for the Cherries in the Premier League so far, but I ask you, we come to the end of the Premier League podcast episode 8, but before we close off, what was your surprise over the weekend for the Premier League?
My surprise, honestly, I would say was Chelsea. I think we take a step back because we played so good in that Arsenal, and even though we throw away the game in the last minute, but I think we would have pushed on, win another game, improve, and then we lost that game. Typical Chelsea, dominate first half, don't find the goal, and then lose the match in the second half, and then from there, I think Pochettino will have some questions to answer, but I still think project gonna need a lot of patience. Um, Not really surprised about United United game.
Yeah,
We are expect
yeah,
United to lose. Tottenham still undefeated. Let's see how long that's gonna last. Arsenal doing their thing. They play a very struggling Sheffield United team, but Everton very surprising. I think that's a surprising win for Everton too. And then was I like how Wolves are playing, even though
yeah,
they I like watch Wolves. They're very exciting. Unfortunate their best player Neto got injured, but I like what Wolves. They're very 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 good. Good
yeah.
on
They
right.
play with a lot of intensity at home.
Yeah, they do. And Liverpool win again. Very shocking news for
Yeah, yeah. To Luis Diaz
Luis Diaz.
parents,
Hopefully,
I think they found his mom in a house. Yeah, they found his mom in a house, and the father is still yet to be found. His mother Selena's rescued. His father is still, but I see the Colombian, the Colombian police authorities, they offered I think around 200 million Colombian pesos to anyone that can lead them to the dad.
yeah.
The rescue of his dad. 200 million pesos is like almost a 50,000 US dollars. When you cancel it out, but yeah, my biggest disappointment or shocking result, it was that game at the London Stadium. Everton beat West Ham United. That was my low for this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everton.
Everton go away and beat West Ham. I wasn't even thinking about West Ham to lose against Everton at home, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, so yeah, that was my
Pleasure.
low. But Taps, I think earlier I said Pedro Neto had 6 assists. It's 7 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 7 assists. Erling Haaland is a top goal scorer and 11 goals. Youngmin Son 8 and Mohamed Salah. That's the top three. And the top three in assists is Pedro 7, Kieran Trippier and six assists.
Mm.
Yeah, 6 assists. And you know what? I think he had a hat-trick assist in that Sheffield game, or 4 assists.
Oh, okay.
And then James Madison is on 5. But yeah, we are come to the end, of the Premier League podcast, episode 8. We will be back next week, Sunday. Let's see when is that last game on Sunday. So the last game next week will be Luton Town will host Liverpool. So yeah, people, we will be here at this time again next week, Sunday. I think 2:30 Eastern time. So look out for that episode 9 coming out for the Premier League podcast. Later I will be doing the extra time talk by myself, solo, talking about all the big games that happen in Italy. We have two teams, 2 games in the Italian league, Napoli versus AC Milan. I'm about to check out to go watch that game right now. All that game ended. That
Yeah.
Roma and
1-0 to Inter. 1-0 win. Thuram with the goal.
Very bored game, but yeah, big game. I'm going to talk about in the extra time. In the extra time talk, let's see. Let's pull it up. See other big games. Philadelphia in MLS. Go over. Talk about Chicago, Chivas, Guadalajara, Tigres. In Brazilian League, Santos and Olympic Leone. I'm going to go and watch that game right now too. The El Clasico. I will be here talking. So Daniel he's not going to be available for the extra time talk. Well, episode 5.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be here rocking that solo right after the AC Milan game done. So I would say probably around 6:30 Eastern time. So yeah, going to check out. You have any last word for the people?
No. Check out Daniel Football TV as well. usual, subscribe, smash up the likes, people on the Premier League podcast, and
Yeah.
I'll be back next week for the Extra Time podcast, But,
Yeah. All right. Peace out, people. Salute.